$2 million on the line. You can probably figure out a way or two to spend it in Las Vegas on the Strip. Final spot in the Super 16 Team Challenge ALS in the Stickmen. As we take a look at how they both got here at the Cobra Kai style brackets in Las Vegas. Stickmen winners yesterday over Air Force Bomb Squad, and Challenge ALS had a 16-point victory. They'll face Few Good Men, the winner of this game, in the Super 16 next weekend in Brooklyn. Well, hello everybody, Tim Swartz with you, along with Robert Smith, the former UNLV and 15-year pro. And Robert, we saw 8 different teams yesterday. The most impressive, the Stickmen here in Las Vegas.
Well, even as a late game, they still came out with a lot of energy. Most of the times, guys are like, oh, but they came out and showed me that they're a very good team.
Well, really, for one of the most impressive players yesterday, it was for Team Challenge ALS, Sean Marshall. The Boston College product was outstanding.
Well, Sean led his team to a victory yesterday. A very good victory for ALS.
And on the other side, for the Stickmen, their most impressive player, not here, Lou Amundsen. So Ike Diagu, the former first-round pick, the former Golden State Warrior, Indianapolis Pacer, he is the replacement. And that's a big replacement, huh?
And, hey, for what Amundsen did, he's going to have to come in here and sell popcorn.
Well, Lou Amundsen had 27 points. And hello, welcome into the game, Ike Diagu, as Alex Kirk just smacks the tip right in his face.
Well, they had to find out if he was ready or not.
That'll wake him up. Alex Kirk, former NBA player. Justin Dentman, an NBA player. Joe Alexander. Ike Diagu, Cartier Martin, all players with NBA experience for the Stickmen. Early bank shot, though, for Deshaun Stevens.
Well, I think ALS is going to challenge the big men of the Stickmen and see if they can hold tight.
Long three for Cartier Martin's off. Glass cleaned up by Stevens. Jerry Smith, the star at Louisville. The aforementioned Sean Marshall in the starting 5 as well, as that's just tipped out of play. Marshall's the GM of this team, helped put it together to try to help the Strikeout ALS Foundation. Pete Freitz, his former roommate, the baseball player at Boston College.
That shouldn't have been a reset.
I tell you what, for Sean Marshall being the GM, how many GMs get to lead their team on to victory?
Yeah, 28 points, 3 assists yesterday. Also, Kevin Pinkney, a former star at Nevada for the Wolfpack, in the starting 5, as well as Marvell Harris and their head coach, maybe the best, well, not maybe the best basketball player in the gym, probably absolutely the best basketball player in the gym, Darren Collison.
Oh, no doubt. A leader himself.
And he is upstanding at the top of your screen in his white T-shirt, and he is a very high-energy coach.
He is. Well,
There's a 3 for Marvell Harris.
I came down, tried to shoot a 3 to start this game off.
There's Diagu, knocks it down.
He said the first one didn't go, but I guarantee you this one will.
He's getting warmed up. It's a 2-point lead. Lou Amundsen, just such a hustle player. Without him today for the Stickmen, he was their heart and soul, not only their leading scorer.
Yeah, that's right. He did everything for him yesterday.
Deshaun Stevens for 3, and it's a 5-point early lead for Team Challenge ALS. Joe Alexander was an 8th overall pick for Milwaukee, driving the baseline, and he's forced
out of bounds.
Sean Marshall, who played in the second level of Turkey for Eshakir Basket, 18 points per game last year.
Tell you what, Sean's doing a great job defensively and as an offensive player.
A little bit more cohesion with this Team Challenge ALS team, it looks like earlier.
It is.
That's one of the challenges of the basketball tournaments, is how much does your team know each other?
And the Stickmen had the very late game last night, so it'll be interesting to see how much they've recovered.
There's Cartier Martin. Spent last year with the Windy City Bulls in the D-League. Former NBA player, played at Kansas State. Left elbow jumper for Jerry Smith, still smooth.
Nice little step back on Dentman.
He's played in Italy, Israel, Germany last year with the Somunspor, the Turkish Premier League. Smith with the long rebound. He can run the break. Trying to find a wide open Marshall. Pump fake, three, Yahtzee.
Got it.
8-point lead early on. Team Challenge ALS. Robert, they just got way more energy.
Way more energy. And the Stickmen's bench was kind of upset. They thought that Sean Marshall traveled on that sideline.
Remember yesterday, Team Challenge ALS had 45 points from their bench. That was the big win, of the big reason they won over Wasatch Front. Fadeaway Diagu and one. Ike
with the fall away.
Born in Buffalo, 33 years old. 9th overall pick by Golden State in 2005. Working on Kevin Pinckney. Diagu played for the Blazers, Kings, Clippers, Spurs. Last year for Jingshao Monkey King in China.
The Monkey King. Tell you what, they must have told Ike, you gotta come in here ready to play, man, because Amundsen showed us something yesterday.
And we were talking about it before. This might be the best front office in the basketball tournament. David Nurse is the shooting coach for UCLA, used to be the shooting coach for the Nets. He's their head coach. You got Michael Rappaport, who has played himself in the MTV Rock and Jock and played in the NBA All-Star Game, a big-time comedian who's out of LA, but he also has those New York connections, did the 30 for 30 for ESPN when the Garden was Eden, and this Stickmen team with the Knicks-inspired uniforms.
That might be the most expensive front office.
Yeah.
The Stickmen's front office.
I was told Rapp is watching this intently, and that he is expected to be at the later rounds. Had some previous engagements. Marshall, pull up, wide open, three is off. Pinckney keeps it in, but right to Martin. Cartier from the Houston area banks it in.
Move.
Martin.
The Stickmen, now you add Ike Diagu. That's 9 different players they've had with NBA experience.
Yeah.
Right block down to Larry Gordon. There's an old school move by Denton on him. Pulling out the chair. Pinckney out of control.
Yeah, he got a little bit too deep in there and drew the foul.
The Stickmen yesterday were very efficient in a 105-63 win over the Bomb Squad, the Air Force Academy team, 62% shooting. And you're going to like this, of all the numbers from yesterday. They took just 23 of their 63 attempts were threes. Everyone else is about half of their attempts are threes.
Right.
So playing a little bit more your style of basketball with Robert Smith. Long three for Dentman's no good. Martin picks up the rebounds. Into the game as well, Willie Warren for the Stickmen. Number 32 in the bottom left corner of the screen. Diagu gives up the three. Ike strong to the net. Loses it. Monster on the boards.
Yep. He's doing a great job on the boards for Stickmen.
7 early for Ike Diagu in his Stickmen debut. Woohoo! Ivan Aska, we saw him yesterday have 9 points in the second half. He led that Team Challenge ALS team to the win.
Well, after that pick by Aska, Dentman has to check his dentures to make sure everything's in place.
Yep, matchup yesterday between Wasatch Front and 6-seeded Team Challenge ALS. It was tight the entire game. The 16-point difference in the final score was their biggest lead of the game. I'm going to say Martin was on the floor. 4th team foul against Team Challenge ALS. So Stickmen are in the bonus until the 9-minute mark, the last 3:43 of this 9-minute segment. We're playing 2 18-minute halves in the basketball tournament. Winner take all of $2 million, $1.8 million to the coaches, GM, players, boosters, and the fans will take $200,000 of that pot. On the way to the floor Sean Stevens did get Cartier Martin. And notice, too, on these Team Challenge ALS, they're playing for Pete Freites, who was afflicted with ALS, was a great athlete at Boston College, played baseball. He was the teammate and roommate, I should say, of Sean Marshall, who's the GM of this team. And they're all wearing Freites on the back of their uniforms.
Great opportunity to recognize.
Strikeout ALS is the foundation.
Right.
They've already said if they win, they were going to give a very significant portion of their winnings to Strikeout ALS.
That's wonderful.
Nice bucket challenge. It was all the rage in 2014. It raised more money. It was, I think, the most successful. Like people were saying, you know, that you didn't spend any money on it, and all the money it raised for ALS. Some people consider it one of the most successful ad campaigns ever.
That's great.
Haska. Ooh, just a little bump.
I tell you what, the Stickmen starting to pick up their defense right now. They're tightening it up. Almost got a turnover there by Haska.
13 all, 12:23 remaining in the first half. Final spot in the Super 16 at stake. Shot clock never went. We've had regionals in Charlotte and Philadelphia last weekends. The Peoria regional just finished up. The Golden Eagles did hold up Majerus Slough crew. And this is the West Regional in Las Vegas. 4 great locations. Hats off to the basketball tournament organizers. Charlotte, Philadelphia, Peoria, and Las Vegas. No offense to the other 3 places, but I think we got the best spot here, Robert.
I think so. The others are great, but this is the greatest.
Vegas is Vegas. Robert Smith came here as a young lad playing for UNLV and hasn't left.
Yep. And you know what kind of sold me on Vegas? Like I said, when I first came, I wasn't really sold on it, but I started looking at the other places that I went. Nothing was 24 hours but Vegas. And you know, and it's funny because when you travel and go to other places and play, and say like a late game or whatever,
like last night, yeah,
right. You want to go somewhere to eat. It's tough.
Out of luck.
It's tough. You come to Vegas, hey, you can go to the airport is open late.
Vegas and New York City, where the Stickmen have big ties with their New York Knicks-like jerseys and logos. One of the best logos in the basketball tournament.
They definitely have that old school look.
Team Challenge ALS, very slick, silver and black. That you'll be seeing a little bit more in Vegas next couple years. Jerry Smith, last year, played in the Turkish First League for Samsunspor. Averaged 20 points per game. He is a shooter. Also played with the Nets. He is the only player who's played in the NBA, along with Kevin Pinkney, for this Team Challenge ALS team against a team that is basically all NBA players, including Ike Diago, who was added today. 3 for Ike.
Somebody's over there chirping at Ike on the sideline. He keeps looking back at him.
10 points for Ike Diago early, picking up the slack loss by Lou Amundsen, who scored 27 yesterday. Traveling on Sean Marshall, and we've reached our first mandatory. Stickmen, an early 1-point lead. I like Ike. He likes threes. The water show at the Bellagio on a cool day here in Las Vegas, just 100 degrees on the Strip, about 10 minutes south of the Strip here at Desert Oasis High School. So far, that's what we saw in the Midwest region, where it has gone final. I mentioned earlier, Golden Eagles defeated Majerus Slough. They'll face Purple and Black, so that's a Marquette versus Kansas State matchup. Scarlet and Gray, the Ohio State-led team, against Always a Brave. They had some trouble with Fort Wayne Champs, a D-League team that's based off of the D-League Fort Wayne team, but they were able to defeat them And 4 alumni teams out of the Midwest.
Man.
Super 16, those matchups next weekend in Brooklyn. Check thetournament.com tonight for time, games, and broadcast information. We are finishing up the first and second rounds. Tim Swartz and Robert Smith here with you. Robert, former player in the NBA, CBA, and overseas in Monaco.
Aska and Ike really going at it.
Mike Morrison's into the game. He's a rarity on the Stickmen team, a non-NBA player. He's the only non-NBA player that is on this team. Morrison played for Skyliners Frankfurt in the Bundesliga last year, 8 points per game. He's played there the last 3 years, which is pretty rare. You look at these, as Morrison fishes the first one, but you look at the rosters and the players, and it seems like most of these international players play somewhere 1 year, 2 years max. But that's Mike Morrison, who has found a home in Frankfurt.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you find a nice place, you pretty much want to stay there.
Robert, you played for AS Monaco for 4 or 5 years.
You're right. Yeah.
The country of Monaco, they play in the French league.
Because a lot of countries, they'll only give you 1 or 2 years.
Ooh. Marvell Harris fouled on his way up. Played in Australia last year for Illawarra Hawks. 2016 Mountain West Player of the Year at Fresno State. Whew. He had a great tournament at Thomas and Mack Center. They had the Mountain West tournament every year for Fresno State.
And you know, it was funny because that year, Fresno State wasn't picked to win it, and he elevated his game that time of year to put them in. Got the
Bulldogs into the NCAA tournament for Coach Rodney Terry.
I tell you, Rodney's done a great job down there. From when he started, he's been able to get the kids in there that he wants.
And they haven't had years like this since your old coach, Tart the Shark.
That's right.
Was down in the Central Valley. Morrison off to the corner. Dentman gives up the 3, 12-footer. Paris Blackwell into the game for Team Challenge ALS. They go to the left wing. Larry Gordon's open for 3, but he couldn't get it to go down. They'll keep it here. Morrison with the foul. And with 10:33 remaining in the first half, before they reset with 9 minutes left, it should be free throws for Team Challenge ALS, as Mike Morrison was called for the foul.
Well, for the Stickmen, Dentman hasn't starting off kind of slow today, but you know he's going to get going sooner or later.
Here's Avanaska, played for PAOK in Greece, 10 points, 4 rebounds last year. Pretty good soccer club as well in the Greek league. 27 years old, born in Fort Lauderdale, just a bit north of Miami. He's actually played for the Virgin Islands and was the MVP of the FIBA Central America's Basketball Championship, the Caribbean Basketball Championship, I should say. Played for Minnesota in last year's Summer League. 17 all, 10.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Willie Warren, Oklahoma product. Joe Alexander. Here's Ike Diagu, added late. That's the thing about this Stickmen team, this organization. You can add an Ike Diagu, who is lighting it up for 13.
He's hanging out around that three-point line, too. Ooh, Jerry traveled on that one.
You see Darren Carlson, 13 points per game last year for the Kings.
Kings making a few moves in this offseason.
Rebuilding around Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
Not the first time we've seen Alex Kirk try to go up and dunk. Diagu's called for a player control foul.
Yeah, he got out of control there trying to make the pass. And, you know, coaches tell you all the time, don't jump in the air to make a pass, because when you're playing against good defensive teams, they're going to step into you.
Live from Las Vegas, it's the basketball tournament, second round. Space into the Super 16 is at stake. Casper Ware, Los Angeles native, into the game. Played for Asphalt Baskets in French League last year, and he knocks down a three.
I think the year before he played with Dijon, and they won the championship.
Fouls have not reset. 28 seconds until that happens, so more free throws. Willie Warren at the line. See Darren Carlson, very hands-on head coach.
Yeah.
See some coaches here who kind of sit down, maybe talk in between timeouts. Some coaches are screaming and yelling. You get maybe the different styles of the basketball tournament coaches.
Oh, yeah.
Cartier Martin checks back in. Willie Warren on the sidelines. There's Darren. First-round pick in 2010 out of UCLA. Played on some loaded Final Four teams for Coach Howland at UCLA, including a team with Wessel Westbrook, Kevin Love, and him.
Ben Howland had some really good talent come through there while he was there. Oh, what a save.
Asko sliding down, saves it. Casper Ware open for three. It's off. 20 all game. This is really maybe the most physical
of
any of our 12 West Region games.
This is going to be one of those games where you have to bring out the ice packs for everybody.
Larry Gordon plays in the German second division for SC Rostov Vecha. And he loses that ball out of bounds. Yeah. 20 all, 9 minutes left. Now the fouls will reset, and both teams out of the bonus. Willie Warren couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, going a little too fast there.
Marshall had sat out for a bit. He's back in the game, and he ignites that layup for Paris Blackwell.
This is a good match. This is probably one of the better matchups of the day.
This is, so far, I think the best played game of this West region. Cartier Martin going towards the basket was fouled. Now we'll see if it's on the floor or going up.
On the shot.
It is on the shot. Continuation for Cartier. Spent the last 5 years with the Iowa Energy, and he was traded to the Windy City Bulls in the D-League. Bulls affiliates.
And now they're saying it was on the ground.
Yeah, the referee that made the call put up two fingers, which means two shots. All right. Willie Warren in the lane, tied up, jump ball, Stickmen possession arrow.
Casper Ware playing solid defense down in the post. Pulled the chair out from under Willie Warren.
Timeout called. And a close one. Team Challenge ALS, a slim lead over the Stickmen from Las Vegas. And they're re-looking at a shot during this break, and they changed the score. So they added a point. They turned a 2 into a 3, which they can review. And this is one of the things I love that the NBA does. If they want to review a play, and it's a 2 or a 3, as we'll take another look. I think it was a Diagu 3. Yeah. And there we go. But what they do in the NBA is the referee will come around and will give kind of the home run signal in baseball, and then he will go over to the table, and they will wait until the next break. They won't review it unless it's in the last quarter. If it's in the quarter, then they will, because that'll affect the play, the score.
Right.
But in the first 3 quarters, they will just look at it during breaks. Diagu. Late edition, Ike Diagu's played for Nigeria in the Olympics. Former first-round pick, 9th overall to Golden State out of Arizona State. Sean Marshall just misses a 2.
Sean's not as warm as he was yesterday from that three-point line. But looking at Ike, what Ike brings to this team,
Foul's called, and it's Willie Warren to the line.
What Ike brings to the Stickmen as opposed to what Lou Amundsen brought to him yesterday. Lou did a little bit of everything. Ike is rebounding and shooting the three.
Lou Amundsen unable to play today, 27 points yesterday. Ike, well, he's not doing too bad. 5 of 7, 12 points, 3 rebounds. He has 3 of the 5 rebounds for the Stickmen. Team Challenge ALS is shooting a blistering 58%. Yesterday they shot 51% in their 16-point win. They got 45 bench points yesterday. So far today, 5 from their bench.
I think the bench is going to be key in this tournament as you get deeper into the into play. If you can get 45 points from your bench, you're doing very well.
Casper Webb at the top of the key, explodes the net. Aska stripped away by Alexander.
Oh.
Here's Cartier Martin. 3 is off, and it hits that stanchion, which is
once again.
Sometimes I've seen bowls that have gone straight up that might have had a chance to come back in, like that one. Jerry Smith in 5 games for the Nets in 2012. Back when they were in New Jersey. Ball's lost. Detman to the hoop.
Yeah. Nice move by Detman. Off the steal.
Ware from way downtown.
Banked it in.
He didn't mean to do it. His reaction.
Well, we know the bank is open on Sundays.
And Aska and Alexander are shoving each other.
Yeah, it's getting physical.
Ware pulled up from 3 or 4 feet behind the NBA stripe. They're sorting it out.
No, it's
double
good.
tech.
Nobody got thrown out.
Alexander and Aska both get technical fouls. So the Stickmen, the most NBA experience of anybody in this basketball tournament. And this one's laid in by Casper Ware.
Good move by Casper, getting to the basket strong.
He's played in 9 NBA games. That's the most for anybody on Team Challenge ALS. The other side, Stickmen have some longtime NBA veterans.
They've got quite a few veterans.
Very close first half. Neither team is led by double digits.
No, this is going to be a close game, I think, all the way through.
Ware fadeaway 18-footer rims out.
Casper usually knocks that down. That's one of his favorite shots.
Cartier Martin takes the baseline, short. Kevin Pinkney got in his way. 5 on 4. Ware underneath, wide open flush for Deshaun Stevens.
Good ball movement there.
And that's a good timeout from the Stickmen. They just look totally out of sorts and very tired and just not much energy from them today.
No.
That's the big key with not having Amundsen.
That's right. Well, not having Amundsen, and when you think about it, that was a late game. I mean, I felt it leaving out of here, so I know they felt
it. And you didn't play.
That's right.
7-0 run in under a minute. Casper Ware. An extra pass from Casper to Deshaun Stevens.
In the lobby and receive 50% off any ticket at any level for a future TBT game day.
And there's different levels that we've seen from coaches in terms of how involved they are, and especially these current NBA players. I don't think anybody's more involved or as into it as Darren Carlson.
No, he's over there drawing plays, getting with each player as they come over, and
He's trying to
very
get
into it.
his Jason Kidd on.
That's right.
Retire and go straight into the coaching
That's right.
seat. That's been amazing. Hasn't that been for you? The Jason Kidd and the Derek Fisher, guys going straight from
playing into coaching.
Yeah.
And that's tough. That's a tough deal. I mean, I just did it for high school, and it was tough. So I can imagine what they're going through trying to deal with pros.
And the thing that's been amazing to me about it is this is not, a lot of times you'll see kind of bit players or, you know, someone like a Scott Brooks who was a role player.
Yep.
Steve Kerr was a very good role player, but those type of players, not the type of players like a Jason Kidd or you know, star players decide to do it.
To me, Jason's always been a coach. The way he plays, you know, even when he's on the court, he's controlling things. He's running the show. And so, you know, for him to fit right in there is not a surprise to me. But I am surprised because he hasn't had any superstars, and he's done well.
He's done really well, yeah, with Milwaukee, his current team. 3-point lead as Ike Diagu has 14 of the 26 for the Stickmen. Jerry Smith travels.
Yeah, he did. He caught it and took like a little 1-2 hop.
The Stickmen, it's their first basketball tournament. They were the part of, a lot of these players were in Eberlein Drive, who've lost in the last 3 first rounds, and Jacob Hirschman was their GM. He's part of the Stickmen staff. But it's also Michael Rappaport, who had been a GM of a few teams over the years that have done well. And Michael, there's an offensive foul called on the pick and roll. Right. But he's brought some star power to the Stickmen, got that New York flavor. And
gained a lot of experience with these players that he has.
He made one of the big moves of the offseason in terms of free agency, signing with Barstool Sports, the popular sports blog. And Team Barstool was the original runner-up in the original basketball tournaments. 3-pointer in the near corner is short. Casper Ware from long range.
A little short.
That was kicked off the rebounds. Well, when you drive down 15 from the strip, it says Los Angeles. That's where Casper resides, and they say that was halfway down 15.
Oh, yeah.
To LA.
About to roll. His dad was a very good player. We both went to Charles Drew Middle School, which is basketball mecca in Los Angeles.
So much basketball in July here in Las Vegas. AAU tournaments, the Summer League, and now the basketball tournament this year. Great idea by the organizers to get a piece of the action. Everybody wants a piece of the action in Vegas. Jerry Smith's fouled on his way up. Looked like Warren got him.
I tell you, June, July, and in some parts of August, you know, basketball's still going strong here in Vegas. People come for vacation and watch a little basketball as well.
There are a few things to do on the Strip.
Hell yeah, a lot of good eating.
World-class restaurants, fun, gaming, and you put basketball in there too.
Oh man,
what more could anybody want that's a basketball
ask for
fan?
More.
Four-point lead for Team Challenge ALS. Smith makes both free throws. He's played in Israel, Italy, Germany, 29 years old as he heads up the courts. Follow Willie Warren. Last year scored about 20 points per game for Somunspor in Turkey. Detman was trying to draw a foul from Ware, and he'll draw one. But Justin Detman started his year last year in terms of his professional year in Turkey with Galatasaray. He was released from his contract, though, so he could sign with the Shandong Golden Stars in the Chinese Basketball Association. Scored about 23 a game. Detman's first free throw is in.
Gets it to go.
Played in 2 games with the Spurs in 2012, also with Toronto and Dallas. Was the 2012 D-League MVP with the Austin Toros, the affiliate of the San Antonio Spurs. Kicked by Detman. it's been really on offense for Team Challenge ALS, very even.
Yeah.
Ware's got 8, Stevens 7, Smith 6, Harris 5.
Well, and this has been a defensive challenge for both teams because they're both kind of settling down and getting into guys, and it's physical.
Warren, fadeaway 7-footer. How do you stop that?
You can't. There's nothing you can do with that shot. He's fading away from the defender. He's got a nice touch to finish it. Nice shot.
Well, Harry Gordon cans a 3. Played in the German 2nd division for Sporting Club Rasta Vecta. Willie Warren can't respond. Hustle play and an extra possession. Mike Morrison. Dentman lost that on his way up and off of his way.
Yeah.
34-30, Team Challenge ALS in a low-scoring first half controls the lead here from Las Vegas. Basketball tournament here in Las Vegas, West Region. This is the bottom half of the bracket. Top half, Team Colorado and Armored Athletes in it. The Sweet Super 16. Few Good Men defeated Team Utah. Team Utah had a 60-footer as time expired that had a chance.
It was very close. I mean, I was surprised that he was left that open to even take the shot.
And Tim Drisdom hit a game winner yesterday over Team Fredette. Almost did it again. And if Few Good Men wants to beat whoever wins this game, they're going to need some more players. They just don't have enough players.
No. And no, I don't think anybody else is going to let them play the style that they've been playing because with only 6 men.
So it'll be interesting to see. You can add players. It costs you $3,000 before next week's matchups in Brooklyn in the Super 16. The Stickmen, they added a player, Ike Diagu, after last night's win, who's got 12 points, 3 rebounds early on. Backdoor cut, and it's tipped away by Joe Alexander. Morrison loses that ball. Alexander, and it was kicked off of Pinckney.
Pinckney had a chance at it, but couldn't get it in his hands.
That's the worst place for the ball to be for a player 6'11"
right.
on the ground.
Big men do not bend over when they're moving.
Here's Joe Alexander, who has not scored. Played for Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel last couple years. Ike Diagu faces up and loses it. Casper Ware wants to run. Look at Long Beach State for some good 49er teams. Thought he was fouled.
Yep. That's where you got to use that backboard.
Cartier Martin called for the charge.
That was obvious there.
Both teams are in the bonus, but that was an offensive foul, so no shots. Spencer Ware, Casper Ware, I should say. He did sell it.
Yeah. He got in the lane. I'd have used the glass on that one, though, especially with the big men.
Marshall trying to get going for 3. Just off.
He was on fire yesterday. Today, he can't get one to go. Marvell down again.
Yeah, it's 5 on 4. Maybe Harris is playing a little possum. He gets fouled hard by Martin, although maybe he's not. Yeah, he got hit in the head.
Yeah.
Stickmen down for 20, Cartier Martin, second ball.
Ooh, took a knee to the head from Joe Alexander.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Harris shooting.
Remember, he got hit in the head yesterday.
He did. At the end of the game, there was a late pick from Steve Panos to center from Wasatch Front. Weber State team in Team Challenge ALS, particularly Sean Marshall, took a defense to it, and they were some pretty heated words. I didn't blame Sean Marshall for that yesterday because it was a 15-point game.
Yeah,
the minute left,
needless.
it was over. And especially, you know, a guy like Marvell Harris, who's only 23 years old, he's starting to make his living overseas with the Hawks in the Australian National Basketball League, where he scored 10 per game last year.
Yep. Yeah, you don't want to mess up a guy's career in something like this.
Carde Martin running a little points. Mid-range.
Nice shot.
Martin.
Trying to make sure that was real. Someone took a shot between 12 and 16 feet.
Right.
Larry Gordon down low for Pinckney.
Should have lobbed that one up a little higher for him.
Martin running the fast break. Dentman. Nice pass to Alex Kirk. Team Challenge ALS's lead has been cut to 2 as Darren Carlson immediately wants to call timeouts.
Wants to talk to him a little bit.
Well, look at the look that Dentman gave Kirk. I mean, this was textbook how to play basketball with everything in this play. Little pump fake from Kirk made it a lot easier.
Right, and you see how Dentman froze the defender with a shot fake and dumped it down. That was great pass by Dentman to Kirk.
It's almost like, too, that now it's kind of an underused play. A ball fake, pump fake.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of head fakes? Ike Diago checks back in for the Stickmen, their leading scorer today. There's Justin Dentman. Resides in Carbondale, Illinois. Played for 2 Sweet 16 teams for Lorenzo Romar at Washington.
Yeah, he's a good little player.
One of the changes in college basketball last year, Lorenzo Romar out. Mike Hopkins from Syracuse is the new head coach for the Huskies. And Pinckney was out of, well, it's over and back. I thought that ball was deflected.
Yeah, it was deflected, but
Pinckney might have collected then took a step back.
Yeah, well, yeah, he tried. He was getting ready to run back and then try to establish himself. Close.
Team Challenge ALS up by 2. Killer crossover. Dentman couldn't finish. Diago skips through the lane. Back out to Dentman. Wide open 3 was canned, but a 3 called on Kirk.
I would have put him up 1 with that 3.
There's one of the best coaches in the basketball tournament, David Nurse, who is a shooting coach for the Brooklyn Nets. Also, he's a consultant for UCLA. Team Challenge ALS, no baskets made the last 3 minutes. High floaters down. Casper Ware.
Nice little floater over the big man.
Diago face up. Couldn't make the 3.
Held that one a little too long. Probably should have given it up.
But you got Team Challenge ALS. No one who's played in the NBA the last 3 or 4 years. Stickmen, a bunch of not only NBA players, but guys who have played in the league for a long time. Yeah. And Team Challenge ALS is up by 4. It was something you were saying yesterday, Robert. There's just one basketball.
That's right. Got to get your chemistry right.
Ware blocked out of bounds by Alex Kirk.
Kirk with a long reach.
He tried to help out Ware pulled his arm away. He said, no, I don't want your help. And they might have given Ware a technical.
Did they?
So we're told now that the technical foul was on Darren Carlson.
Oh, he wanted that call.
First free throws in for Justin Dentman. Played for the Golden Stars in the CBA in China last year. Second free throw in. 38-36. Still a 2-second difference. But we told you Dylan Carlson is intense.
He's into it.
Ooh. Stickmen will have the final shot with 7 seconds left.
Chance to tie it up or go ahead.
Casper Ware having a nice conversation with Justin Detman. Always a dialogue on the basketball court.
Always.
Willie Warren with 5, trying to beat the clock. Gets a screen, leaves it off. Dentman for 3, blocks.
Oh, good.
Deshaun Stevens, a big play. And a 2-point lead for Team Challenge ALS is Darren Collison on the sideline, still working the reps.
He wants all of them. Like, let's have a meeting right now.
Well, Darren Collison and company can't be too displeased. They're up by 2 with a spot in the Super 16 on the line. It's the West Region of the basketball tournament. $2 million on the line. Justin Detman wants it. Fans, young and old, here in Las Vegas for the basketball tournament West Region second round. Final spot in the Super 16 and a date with Few Good Men next weekend in Brooklyn on the line here from Las Vegas. Team Challenge ALS against an NBA heavy. The Stickmen team lead by 2. In the last 2 years, the basketball tournament championship has featured a team from the West region. It was Team Colorado last year, who is in the Super 16. They beat Broad Street Brawlers earlier on today, and they faced off with Overseas Elite last year in the basketball championship game and the basketball tournament championship game. And Overseas Elite, the 2-time defending champions, took last year. Back in Las Vegas, final spot in the Super 16 is on the line as the Stickmen Team Challenge ALS, a very tight first half. Neither team had a double-digit lead. There's Ike Diagu, the star of this first half.
Shooting quite a few threes.
He made 3 of them, 14.6 rebounds.
Physical play down there for the turnaround.
Didn't see that from Mike last year in the NBA in 2012.
No.
Look at some of the numbers. Turnovers have been big. 12 for Team Challenge ALS. Each team with only 4 assists.
Yeah. Well, it's been a defensive struggle. I mean, you look at the score, only 36 and 38 points for each team.
Tim Swartz with you. Robert Smith, former UNLV star, 15 years a pro. There's Sean Marshall, who had 28 points yesterday in their first round game. Today, in the first half, Marshall had just 3.
Yeah.
You were over there listening to the sidelines. What was the Stickmen talking about?
Well, Stickmen said they were saying they need to get a few more threes up. They weren't shooting very well from the 3-point line, and they were getting out rebounded. Whereas Team ALS, they were saying, let's move the ball a little more. Let's get the ball inside and get some points in the paint.
Challenge ALS just 4 assists on 12 made baskets, just 4 assists on 11 made baskets for the Stickmen. On his way up, Marshall was fouled. Elbow hit.
Well, they feel they have an advantage with Ike trying to guard Sean Marshall. Sean with a little more speed.
First team foul. Marshall shooting.
2 free throws for Marshall. First one's in. Played at Boston College. He was Pete Freight's roommate. His Team Challenge ALS is playing for Freight's Foundation Strikeout ALS. Sean Marshall, former roommate at college, at Boston College, with Marshall a basketball player. Freight's a baseball player. 10 years overseas for Sean, who has now 6 points. He could not make the last free throw. One of the boosters for this Team Challenge ALS team, Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Just a play or two away from winning the Super Bowl. Woo!
Nice move.
Reverse lay-in by Marvell Harris.
Notice the pace of this game has picked up a little more too.
Who do you think that would be an advantage for?
I would think it would be better for Club ALS because of their bench size.
Dentman, long range. Haskell picks up the rebound. Casper Ware went for 3, but the offensive foul called.
It amazes me sometimes when you see the bigs setting those picks and then, just running over guys.
Careful, Darren.
Got to be.
He's already got one tech.
That's right.
Darren Carlson, star-studded coaching staffs and management for both these teams. Michael Rappaport, the GM of the Stickmen, the I Am Rappaport podcast, has been on tons of TV shows, movies, made some documentaries. Dentman with the popular now, James Harden, Steph Curry, Chris Paul try that as soon as they know someone's trying to commit a foul in transition, just throw it up.
Throwing it up, trying to get that shot foul.
There's David Nurse, one of the best coaches in this tournament. He is a consultant for UCLA. He also was the shooting coach for the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA. Both these staffs are star-studded. Both these teams have some stars. As Joe Alexander's fouled. Alexander, in the first half, did not score. Just took one shot. Played for Maccabi Tel Aviv of the Israel Premier League, second stint with the club. Also, that team was in the Euro League. So you played overseas, Robert.
Yep.
There's multiple competitions. You'll have your league, which is just the league season. Everyone plays everybody. There's the Cup, which is the domestic competition. It's a one-off kind of NCAA tournament style. And then there's also the European competitions.
The European Cup is much better. I mean, the Maccabi Tel Aviv they're like the Lakers of Israel. Big administration, big money program.
The 80s Lakers, not the current Lakers.
Right, that's right. No, I don't know if you want to claim those.
Stevens misses.
Got to get that ball up a little higher on the glass.
The Stickmen are capable of going on a long, big run. Joe Alexander.
What a find. 1 point game again.
You got to be careful. All these Stickmen players have played in the NBA. They all play at high level overseas. This is one of the most talented teams in the competition, and they can go for big runs. Marshall tries to stop it.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit today.
Cartier Martin runs to quickly bring it up the court. Alexander trying to set up the monster down low. Ike Diago.
Yeah, Ike's got a little more body than Deshaun has.
This is the most animated we've seen the Stickmen bench as well.
Yeah.
Ware for 3. Silences that bench. 2-point lead. As with 15 minutes left, Stickmen in Team Challenge ALS going at it. Willie Warren, step back, trifecta, just off. 5-on-4 if Team Challenge hurries up. Open underneath, Stevens.
Nice pass. That was a great pass from Sean. Stickmen doing a great job of picking up the pace of the game, but that last shot by Warren was a tough one to fade away and really started the fast break for ALS.
Stevens, last year in college with San Diego State in 2013. Makes the first, 27 years old. Played for the LA Defenders last couple of months of the D-League last year.
He's a long, lanky body.
6'8", Resides in L.A.
Not a wide body, though.
Nice touch.
Yeah. And it's funny because when he played at San Diego State, he wasn't known as a big time scorer or anything.
Played on that 2011 team that went to the Sweet 16.
Yep.
Justin Dentman into the front court. Up for Mike Morrison, the only Stickmen player who hasn't played in the NBA. Alexander fights for the rebound, and he's fouled.
Goes against ALS. You see Morrison in the game now. Sean Marshall's just backing off of him, giving him a jump shot. He's got to keep his dribble so he can get to the basket if he's not going to make that pass.
Stickmen are without Lou Amundsen, who played at UNLV, had 27 points, 6 rebounds yesterday. He's played in 428 NBA games. He was their heart and soul yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the 27 points I think they're missing. I think they're missing his hustle.
No doubt. He gave them a lot of energy yesterday, and you don't see that today.
I mentioned earlier, too, that game yesterday ended at about 10:30-11.
Yeah.
Alexander strong to the hoop. Second effort, third effort. He's fouled from behind by, looked like, Blackwell.
Alexander starting to pick it up a little bit.
Didn't score in the first half. 7 points yesterday. Alexander, 6'8", resides in Morgantown. Final year was Sweet 16 team with West Virginia in 2008. Makes the first 8th overall pick by the Bucks in 2008. Last time in the United States was with Santa Cruz in 2014 before he was signed by an Israeli team and was with Maccabi Tel Aviv last year.
Big time free throws right there by Alexander.
14 minutes left. Final spot in the Super 16 on the line. You're watching the basketball tournament on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. Harris to the hoop was fouled. Harris has got that old school kind of shooting guard look, 6'4", built.
A big guard body. And, you know, at Fresno State, he played a little bit of the 1, played a little bit of the 2. He did a very good job for them, leading them to the NCAA tournament.
Played for the Knicks last year in the Summer League. Played in Australia with the Hawks, scoring 10 points per game last year, down under.
The one thing about Marvell is he's got to get a little more range on his shot, and, you know, just be a natural scorer.
Alexander thought he was fouled, and he loses it. Here is Marvell. Somehow ends up back with him. Ware, teed up by Morrison. He wants some ISO. Much quicker than Morrison. Morrison gave a look back to the ref. Didn't think that was a foul. Both teams in the bonus now. The fifth foul equals the bonus, and both teams at the 9-minute mark, they'll reset.
Okay.
So it's
Morrison said, "Hey, I can stay with a little man, but maybe not too long."
4.5 minutes until they reset in 9 minutes. Free throws in. 5-point lead for Team Challenge ALS. Biggest lead of the game was 8. This whole entire game has been played within 10 points. Alex Kirk, center out of New Mexico. Couldn't put it in.
Didn't really know where he was when he caught that ball. Could have taken another dribble and got a better shot out of that. But, you know, that's what happens when you give the big man the ball too early.
Casper Ware dishes. Corner three for Marshall on the way.
There
Got
he
it!
is. There he is.
This equals the largest lead, 9 points for Marshall all in the second half. Driving to the lane, lefty layup in for Willie Warren.
Nice move by Warren.
Plays for the Xinjiang Golden Bulls, the Chinese Basketball League. Ware, catch and shoot. Marshall, fadeaway on Diago. He's chirping.
And he's talking too. it's getting a little feisty.
Biggest lead of the game at 8.
Yeah. Marvell did a great job there. I don't know who the foul was on.
It's on
Oh,
Harris.
they got it. They got him. Must have reached across the arm on that one.
Willie Warren at the line. Second round pick by the Clippers in 2010. Brings this game within 7. He's also played in China, as I mentioned. Played in the Adriatic League, which includes Croatia, Serbia, Macedonia, and Slovenia. Started in Israel. In terms of his overseas time, makes both free throws. It's a 2-basket game with 12 minutes left. Team Challenge ALS has led most of the game, but they haven't led by more than 8.
It's a good matchup right here.
Step back 18-footers well short. I think Kirk deflected that.
It's a good block by Kirk.
Cartier Martin got a stop ball. Marshall was called for the foul. Stickmen bench wanted a goaltend as well there.
Yeah, they did.
Well, the GM of Team Challenge ALS, Sean Marshall, pouring it in Las Vegas. Crunch time upcoming in our final game from Las Vegas. Team Challenge ALS up by 6, looking for the final spot in the Super 16 of the basketball tournaments. Check thetournament.com. Later on tonight, they'll announce the game times from Brooklands as they go from 16 to 8 to 4. That'll play in Baltimore, Maryland on August 1st. And then 2, the championship game on ESPN August 3rd. There's the GM of Team Freights.
A nice little step back jumper.
Sean Marshall, who poured it in with 28 yesterday. Cartier Martin makes his first. Played for Bob Huggins at Kansas State. Started his career in Turkey last year with the Windy City Bulls of the D-League. NBA, played for Charlotte, Golden State, Washington, Atlanta, Chicago. Appeared in 243 games. Martin with 12 points, one of just 4 players in this entire game in double figures. It's been a low-scoring, grinded-out contest. Neither team has had a double-digit lead. Marshall rises and fires. Martin effected that shot.
Yeah, that was great defense right there by Cartier.
Willie Warren, just off.
Probably should have moved that ball around a little bit to get something offensively.
They look to Marvell Harris, the player of the year in the Mountain West in 2016. Great
Nice.
pass.
That's great teamwork right there.
Deshaun Stephen puts it in. Off balance, and that was Paris Blackwell put it in, pardon me, and then Blackwell's called for the foul.
Well, Blackwell, got a little too close. And Dentman is a smart player. He knows how to use his body, and he was able to draw that foul.
Both teams in the bonus for 1 minute and 46 seconds, and then it will reset at 9.
That's three. That's a.
Well, they're going to call it a 3-shot foul. Well, let's see. The one official to the far side is putting up two fingers.
I'm just looking at where he let it go from.
So they're going to say, I think, 2 shots, that it was on the floor.
Okay.
No NBA continuation, I guess.
In and out.
Dentman, 31 years old. 2 Sweet 16s at Washington. And they had those talented teams. Last year there was 2009. D-League MVP with the Toros of Austin. It was 2 shots. He makes 1 of 2.
Washington kind of struggled the last couple of years, and they were known for getting talent.
Yeah, the number 1 overall pick this year,
Exactly.
Markelle Fultz.
Yep. I had a chance to watch him play in the preseason down here in Vegas, and I wasn't impressed. And everybody's like, "Hey, he's going first round."
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but we could have a Kevin Durant, Greg Oden situation with LeVar.
Yep.
Alonzo Ball going 2nd overall, whichever ball it is.
I tell you who I do like, though, Dennis Smith, a kid out of North Carolina State.
Fell to the Mavericks. A lot of people were shocked by that.
Oh, yeah. He fell way down, and he wasn't happy, and he played well in the summer league.
You were talking earlier about the Kings. Darren Collison, the head coach of Team Challenge ALS's former team. They got De'Aaron Fox, and that should be fun.
Oh, yeah. De'Aaron Fox. You got the kid from Kansas, the point guard.
Frank Mason.
They've got a couple of good young players. They can get if they can get some veterans to play well, a good pass.
Marvell Harris in the lane, out to the left wing. Larry Gordon, 3 wouldn't go down. But Aska couldn't get it to go down. Finally, Sean Marshall. Largest lead of the game at 9 for Team Challenge ALS.
A lot of little garbage under there, but ALS was able to pick it up.
Cartier Martin trying to set up Joe Alexander down low. He's triple teamed. Alexander fighting for the ball. It's out of bounds off of him.
And right now, the Stickmen are basically keeping the ball on one side. If they move the ball a little bit, because ALS is playing real good defense right now. Stickmen's got to move the ball a lot more. They're starting to get a little stagnant with their offense.
Gordon on the left baseline. They go to Marshall. Pump fake. Dishes it off. Harris with a hand in his face. First double-digit lead of the game. Things are unraveling for the Stickmen. Martin, big response.
Big time.
And a timeout by Team Challenge ALS.
I think Marshall's hurt.
Now Marshall had been adjusting. He has a brace around his left knee, and after that last time down the court on defense, he kind of started adjusting it. I don't think this was a timeout. I think this was just an injury timeout.
Oh, okay. Might have been an ankle, too. I see he's moving his foot around.
Yeah, he's holding his right calf. That could change this game. 9 minutes left, 9-point game. Now the bonuses will both go away because of a reset at the 9-minute mark. That changes the equation. Jerry Smith to Harris, gives up the 3. Aska from 18. Off. Joe Alexander skies for the rebound.
Aska hasn't given much offensively today as he did yesterday, giving him a little punch.
Willie Warren banks it in. 8:20 left. 7-point lead for Team Challenge ALS. Jerry Smith, the Louisville guard, played for Rick Pitino. Now plays for Samsunspor in Turkey. 8 seconds left. Back up, 3 on the way, cans it!
And he hasn't been shooting the ball well from the outside, but he got that one to go.
Martin loses it. Ware had it. Martin's fouled. Martin wants a clear path. 10-point lead. Team Challenge ALS looking for the final spot in the Super 16. Two quick updates for you. First of all, you see the GM, Sean Marshall. We were just told by some of the members of the basketball staff he is probably out for the rest of the game with a calf injury to his right calf. You just see the dejection on his face. The second thing, real quick, we were talking about maybe or maybe not a clear path foul. The referees did come over. They checked. It was not a clear path foul. So it is just a common foul, as Ware was screaming for the clear path foul, but he's not the referee.
No.
But that's such a hard loss. Marshall, the GM, he started this team because his former roommate, Pete Freites, has started the Strikeout ALS Foundation. And he's the leading scorer with 28 last night, had 11 today. It's hard to see that.
A big 11 today.
Ware to the hoop.
That's what Casper's great at, getting in between the creases and getting to the basket.
That equals the largest lead for Team Challenge ALS. It'll stay with the Stickmen, despite the protests of that man, Darren Carlson. Already has a tech. He's got to be careful. Did you ever get 2 techs coaching a high school game?
No, never. I rarely got one.
Here with Robert Smith, former high school coach here in Las Vegas, played for UNLV, 15 years as a professional basketball player. Alex Kirk, shorts. 2 seconds left in the shot clock. Is that, of all the things you accomplish as a basketball player, playing 15 years professionally, is that maybe the biggest one, just to play that long?
It was one of the biggest and one of the hardest things to do, to keep your body in shape for that long. But I always prided myself on staying in great shape.
But that's a bad foul on Harris before the ball's inbounded.
Yeah, not smart at all.
Only 2 on the shot clock. Now a fresh shot clock for the Stickmen. Every possession counts with 6:55 left in a 12-point game.
Well, it's still a lot of time, even though you got a 12-point lead.
That was also the 4th on Harris with a 6-foul limit. Diagu underneath.
And they've got to take advantage of having Ike down there, because really right now, Team Challenge doesn't have anybody his size guarding him.
Also got Kirk as well as a big player. 3 on the way. It's no good for Team Challenge ALS. The 3-ball is really what is helping Team Challenge ALS. Yep. Detman. 3-ball is hurting the Stickmen. Stickmen 4 for 22 on threes. Team Challenge is 10 for 22. That's 18 points. You think it's time for Team Challenge to start taking some time off the clock, up by 10, 6 left?
Well, they still, I'd say in about 2 more minutes. But right now, if they try it now, they might lose the momentum that they have.
Warren picks up his 4th. He got Jerry Smith.
Yeah. Guys hitting the ground now, getting up a lot slower. but when you think about it, these teams are playing less than 24 hours of their last game, so
they're playing for $2 million.
That'll make you keep going.
Cartier Martin and Stickmen only dressed 7. Donald Sloan played with the Chinese Guangdong Southern Tigers last year. He was unable to play for the Stickmen on their roster. Shane Lawal, he played for Barcelona in Spain, one of the best teams in the world outside of the U.S. He, because of an overseas contract opportunity, had to pull out at the last minute as well.
Man.
And they also lost Lou Amundsen, who had 27 points last night.
Well, Tim, and here's a question I asked you. Does Amundsen make a difference in this game today, the way he plays?
Oh, I 100% think so.
Yeah, I'm for sure.
It's not the points they're missing. Diago has the ball. He's getting the points. It's the hustle, the energy. We just haven't seen the energy that we saw last night from the Stickmen.
No, and that's what Amundsen did. I mean, he was going 100 miles an hour, you know, at the end of the game.
And this is the second half of a back-to-back, too.
Yeah.
For all these players.
And right now, Ike with unofficially 16 points, but
and he's up to 18 now.
Okay.
9 rebounds. 7 for 12 from the field.
I mean, he's given them a lot, but with Lou gave you a little bit of everything with the energy.
Yeah. Well, they're screaming for travel.
Oh,
Smith
man.
shuffled his feet.
Every time he touches it.
Off balance, short. Aska picks up the rebounds. Oh, it opened, flush.
Wide open.
Deshaun Stevens.
The Stickmen starting to break down defensively.
Biggest lead of the game now, 13. Only 5 minutes left. Stickmen. Willie Warren was fouled on his way to the hoop. Timeout by Team Challenge ALS. You're watching the basketball tournament. Final spot in the Super 16 on the line. And reminder to check thetournament.com later on tonight to see who'll be playing and when in Brooklyn next weekend.
I know I will.
Overseas Elites, the two-time defending champion, they're going to be in Brooklyn. As is Few Good Men. They withstood a late charge from Team Utah. Buzzer beater just off from Tim Drisden after he hit a buzzer beater you saw in that 7-10 game over Team Fredette. And Few Good Men, and it is a few good men. They played 6. They played 6 in their first round game, 7 today.
So it should be very few good men.
Living up to the name. And they've had players sick. They've had players move out. There's David Nurse, the head coach for the Stickmen. They've got those vests that they've been wearing around. Stickmen are no joke.
Oh yeah, they are. I'm telling you that's the highest price group right there. But I do like ALS Challenges coaches out wear, you know, the shorts.
They do look like AAU coaches,
don't they? Don't they?
Darren Collison and company. Darren. 13 points a game last year for the Kings. He's had a long, successful NBA career.
He has.
One of those players, too, that just every year he's averaged double figures.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Quiet. Yeah, I mean, even coming off the bench, you know, he's put up some good numbers.
Jerry Smith. 12 on the shot clock to go to Aska, who's guarded by Cartier Martin. Back to Smith. Gives up a 30-footer. Might have won it back with 5 on the shot clock. Straight away, extra
Too
pass.
late.
Stevens, 3 is off. They did take 30 seconds off the clock to bring us within 4.5. Warren lays it in.
Nice move by Warren.
It looks like for the Stickmen right now, it is take it to the hoop immediately every
right.
time you get the ball.
Yeah.
And for Team Challenge ALS, it's
use the clock, you know, run the clock down to as much as you can. But I think they need to get back to just moving the ball.
layup alley-oop. 15 on the shot clock, still doesn't go in. Warren wants to go to the hoop against Ware. He will. Biagu went for it. It's kept in. A giant possession won by Larry Gordon.
should have gave that one up.
Warren trying to draw a foul, couldn't get it in. Alexander loses it. And David Nurse might get his chance to get a tech after Darren Carlson did the.
Yeah. Well, when you see players missing shots like that, you start to wonder about the fatigue factor.
Final mandatory timeout from Las Vegas. Team Challenge ALS looking to punch the 16th and final spot in the basketball tournament, Super 16. Remaining schedule, Super 16 starts this weekend. Check the basketball tournament, thetournament.com, the website for the basketball tournament for more information. Take a look at the teams that have got their trip to New York City and Brooklyn. That was tickets punched last weekend, highlighted by Boeheim's Army, the leading vote getter in the entire basketball tournaments. And today, bunch of alumni teams. Few Good Men, Gonzaga, Golden Eagles, Marquette, Colorado. Always a Brave, Bradley, Scarlet and Gray, Ohio State, Purple and Black. Jacob Pullen led Kansas State in the Midwest region to a Super 16 bid. .320 left. Team Challenge ALS. Clock is their friend. Alexander swipes at it. 10 seconds on the timer.
Almost went off Gordon's leg.
It's a successful offensive possession. Almost if you can take 25 seconds off the clock and you're up 10 with 3 minutes left.
Right.
Here's Casper Ware looking for a back-breaking three. Oh,
right there.
Well, 3 minutes left, a lot of time, and that might be it. Denton, other side three, no good. Tip rebound is off of Cartier Martin.
Yep, Challenge gets it.
Casper Ware, 20 points.
And he does it quietly, you know, just with daggers.
That leads everybody in today's game. Casper played in 9 games with the Sixers in March of 2014. Ten on the shot clock. Ware's open. Corner three. Cartier Martin pushing. Off the miss. Ooh, hard foul. Right in our cameraman. Big shout out to our crew. They've done 12 games.
Man.
In 2 days.
In the heat.
I was told that they've got a couple of extra AC units out in the truck.
They might let me take one home.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
We don't want to pack this up. You want to...
Well, you can drop that off in Robert's car on his way out.
That's right.
Martin makes the first. It is only 100 degrees today here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, a little bit of overcast early in the day.
It was 111, 112 yesterday. It was 104 at night last night when we left at 10:30.
Yeah. I remember one summer I was here. It was like 12 midnight, 112.
All the ball handlers in for Team Challenge. They have both Smith and Ware. Great ball handlers in the backcourt with 13 on the shot clock. Dentman D's him up. 11-point lead for Team Challenge ALS. Smith, woo, he went up strong. Man. Count it. Dagger. Jerry Smith and one.
Asker's looking at him like, hey, you could have gave that one up. I had a nice little dunk waiting.
Smith one of the and one. And Team Challenge ALS might be the first non-chalk in terms of 1 through 4 seed to make it to the Super 16 in either of our regionals today.
Is that right?
Smith knocks it down. 1:55 left. 14-point lead for Team Challenge ALS. Cartier Martin can't get the three. And with 105 seconds left, that'll probably do it.
Yeah, they're going to run this clock out.
Stickmen could not overcome the loss of Lou Amundsen. Smith into the corner, wise by Larry Gordon not to take that three. Kill 10 more seconds off the clock. Martin up on Smith. Goes for the steal and gets it. Martin, lefty, missed the layup.
Yeah, you can tell he's tired. He didn't even try to go for the rebound on that. Jerry on the side, trying to get this time to go out quickly.
Ware will have 2 free throws. Trying to add to his game-high 20 points. Team Challenge ALS looks like they'll be the 16th and final team into the Super 16.
Yep, they get to stamp their ticket.
First time in the basketball tournament. This team put together by Sean Marshall, who unfortunately had a right calf injury, and he is, for a while, he looked to be kind of distraught on the end of the bench. Now he's smiling.
No, he's a little happy right now.
Martin to the hoop, tried to draw the foul, and he got a foul.
Oh. They can't get it. It's a lid on that bucket. They can't get anything to go in these last couple of minutes.
Stickmen in this half are 8 for 26, 30%. The game, they're 33%. And on threes, they're 1 for 9 this half. Talking about the half, that's what David Nurse and company, their coaching staff, that's what they were talking about.
Right, yeah. Well, and they said it at the half. We need to get a few more threes this half. But I think the defense of ALS Challenge kind of kept them off that line.
Second is in. Stickmen will have some full court pressure. Looking for a trap. Martin will foul Jerry Smith with 1:08 left. There's Sean Marshall, former BC player. Back in 2007, just last year, when they had, remember Jared Dudley and those teams they had?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Chestnut Hill.
Smith to the line.
In and out for Smith.
Can't get it to go.
He was over here listening into us and smiling. He's going to make these free throws. He's got a minute 8 left.
You want to finish you want to run that clock out, you got to knock down some free throws.
Roll the ball up, save every second they can. Willie Warren tried some fancy dribbling.
Ooh, almost lost that one.
Diagu.
Ike still hitting threes.
12-point game. Ware quickly in to Marvell Harris. Aska was fouled by Cartier Martin. And I believe that might be his 6th. Martin. Out of the game. 19 points, 4 rebounds. First free throw, short.
Aska, he gave him a spark yesterday. I mean, he's done some decent things today, but couldn't get any points to go.
53 seconds left. Stickmen in this single elimination style tournament, playing it out full 36 minutes. Denton lays it in. Timeout. Taken by the Stickmen. 11-point game, 47 seconds left.
You know they're going to foul quick. They want to keep that. They want to stop that clock, but Team Challenge has some good ball handlers, and they're a smaller team, so they can control this ball these next 47 seconds and walk away with a nice victory.
Here's Robert Smith, Tim Swartz with you on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. Has any team, and I'm going to have to put your prognostication hat on, but of the 4 teams, Team Colorado, Armored Athlete, Few Good Men, and now we're going to assume Team Challenge ALS is going to win this game. Do you have a favorite of those 4 teams?
Can I have 2 favorites?
Yes. You can have the 2 teams you think will go to the Elite 8.
I like Team Colorado and Team Challenge. Because of, defensively, some of the things that I've seen them do.
I would say I like Team Few Good Men, but they've got to add players.
Yeah. They now if they add a few players, but
Willie Warren fouls Larry Gordon. If they could add a player to, they have a couple, Gennaro Pargo, longtime NBA players on their roster. He didn't play, but if they can get him to play, I think that would be really big.
Yeah. Get him one more big, a good postman. Because I mean, when you think about it, Malcolm Thomas and Leo Lyons, they're good, but they don't get a lot of points in the paint.
Stephen Gray, I think, was the most impressive player we saw this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. He was consistent both days.
Seconds missed. Detman might as well fire up that 3.
Yeah.
No good. And it might be time now for the Stickmen to maybe put up the white flag.
Yeah.
Jerry Smith will hold. 4-second difference. Willie Warren, with a huge smile on his face, is going to foul Jerry Smith.
They look like, why?
Him and Jerry Smith have been talking to each other the entire game. That is 6 on Warren. And
look at Kirk is coming in like, why, man? Why I have to come back in now? You didn't even have to foul.
I had to come back in because they only had. He's the 5th player. They don't have anybody else. Shot clock is off. David Nurse does not look like he is in a joking mood.
No.
Well, this is why we've been saying Darren Collison is maybe the most involved head coach. He is calling a timeout up by 14 with 22.5 seconds left. I'm telling you, he's getting his Jason Kidd on. He wants to go straight from playing to NBA head coach, and this is his audition.
That's it.
But I want to thank our crew through all 12 games that have been here in Las Vegas. I want to thank everybody with the basketball tournament for putting this on. And, wow, check thetournament.com tonight. Because they're going to be releasing game times and broadcast information. The matchups are set. In the West region, it'll be Team Colorado and Armored Athlete. And we are going to assume Challenge ALS can hold on to a 14-point lead with 22.5 left. They're not going to use the advance rule. Well, someone's got to bring it up. And it'll be Kirk.
Kirk shooting.
Let him shoot. Sure. Let the big man go. Mike Morrison, shorts. Challenge ALS needs to cross half court, and they can enjoy the 16th and final spot in the Super 16. What was the difference in this game for you tonight?
Well, I thought the energy that ALS Challenge came out with, and then defensively in that second half, they just kind of got after it. Didn't give the Stickmen a lot of three-point looks, and it was, they just proved that they wanted it a little more.
Our final look at the bottom side of the West region. Challenge ALS will face Few Good Men in a barn burner in Brooklyn, New York. That'll be this weekend. Check thetournament.com for game time information. And here is the best part right after the game. And they usually pick one of the more impactful players in the game to put the placard up. I think it should be Casper Ware.
I do too. But they gave it to the GM.
They did. With a hurt calf.
Right.
He was sulking. Now it's all smiles for Sean Marshall, the general manager, Team Challenge ALS, a cause bigger than basketball, trying to help the Strikeout ALS Foundation. Well, we want to thank our entire Las Vegas crew. Once again, Darren Collison got the tech, coached hard, and got his team to the Super 16. Team Challenge ALS heading to Brooklyn next weekend in the basketball tournament for $2 million.